Okay, so guys, Sean Fowler, host of Speak Up Sports. Hope everyone's having a great day. You see the title right here. It's called Beasts of the East. Okay, Beasts of the NFC East. That's what we're talking about. And I wanted to call that title. And we got a very special guest, somebody who's a diehard, let's just say, an NFC East team. You already know who he's going to be. We're talking NFC East football. Of course, we're going to talk about his favorite team, probably most of all. But the Beast of the East, I'm going to call this title for this week because, hey, let's be honest. We're surprised that the NFC East is this good this season. People had expectations for the Cowboys, for the Philadelphia Eagles as the number and two 1-2 punch. And rightly so, they're living up towards those expectations. But the New York football Giants, the Commanders, we'll talk about them very briefly. They stink. They played tonight against the Chicago Bears, at least tonight of this recording. But the point, though, is that the NFC East is looking like it did about, 7, 8 years ago when the Dallas Cowboys were very good. Oh, they had a good season. The Philadelphia Eagles were good. The Washington Redskins were pretty good. Even the New York Giants were winning Super Bowls. And I'll just say this before I bring the guest in, is that anytime the NFC East is pretty good, it does make football, feel a little bit better. Football is better, I should say. So bringing in our guest, he's the host of Speak Up, which is my father, Sean Marcus. I'm about to bring him in so that everybody can see the hat. But he has a lot to talk about for the Dallas Cowboys. But I'll give him this credit. If he's not watching the Cowboys, he's at least watching NFC East. So we have to bring him in. And here he is right here, Sean Marcus. I will give the applause, but hey, you got to win to get the applause, and y'all winning right now. So Sean Marcus, there he is, my father. How you doing? How you doing? We're talking football today.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Welcome to Speak Up Sports with my son Sean Marcus Fowler Jr.
Yes,
What's
sir.
up,
Yes,
son?
sir.
How you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm glad we can do this. I think it's the second time that you can come on the show. And at least with this time, it's during the season. It's a lot to talk about when it comes towards your team. But with things that are really good and things like that, I want to say we saved the best for last. So before we talk about the paraphernalia that you got on, with the Dallas Cowboys, the blue and matching everything looking nice. I wanted to first start real quick. This is called the Beast of the NFC East, right? So we're gonna talk about the Cowboys. We're gonna talk about the Giants and the Eagles, and hearing your expectations and thoughts that you got. But I want to start real quick first with Washington. Pop. So Washington plays tonight against the Chicago Bears. They're not looking too good this year. They're 1-4. Coach Rivera was called out. Carson Wentz, pretty much in so many words. One of the reporters asked him, why are you guys 1-4? And he said, it's a quarterback. It's the quarterback position. And that's just boom. He just basically called out Carson Wentz. And I'll read Carson Wentz stats real quick, and I'll ask you the question, and we can move on to, the beast of the East. But Washington NFC East, Carson Wentz has 1,400 yards, 10 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, but he has multiple fumbles. So this looking from a Cowboys stance, when you guys play Washington, were you concerned at all when y'all played them? And how do you even view Washington, in this season?
Well, definitely every year is going to be a different season for every team. And, with Ron Rivera coming to Washington, I expected a lot better things. He had a little mystique about himself, but maybe it was because he had Cam Newton, baby. But the thing is, so I expected something from Washington. Then they got Wentz, and then you never know if he going to have a rejuvenated Wentz, if he going to make that comeback. He didn't. Washington still at the bottom where they going to stay. They're not going to come up. They're not going to be a good team. So, it's really a disappointment for the Washington fans, but
Yeah,
I love it, baby.
it's all about the Dallas, right? So when
That's
y'all
right.
played them, you had no fear as a fan, like, and
I
we
had
should go through
I
them.
had no fear.
I got you. I got you. And we just again, guys, it was just real quick on Washington. I don't know if there's any Washington fans out there, but we call it the Beast of the East, but we still have to acknowledge the team. That's feeding the crumbs. We'll see if they can get back into it. But real quick, Dad, I wanted to talk about the other team that you guys beat. And again, we're going to get to Dallas and the Eagles after this, but I want to go in order of saying most, sort of surprising to the cream of the creme. So that's the New York Giants, and the New York Giants. You guys had beat them earlier, this year, a few weeks ago on Monday Night Football, and it's you guys look pretty good. Cooper Rush, you guys were down in the third quarter, the middle of the third quarter. I think it was 13-6, but you guys answered right back. Cooper Rush ended up leading on a touchdown drive, that game, and you end up taking the lead and beating the New York Giants. But, real quick, I just wanted to give the Giants some credit because, hey, they're 4-1 as well. Daniel Jones,
right.
He's not having a great season statistically. I don't think he's that good of a quarterback, but 850 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. But Saquon, Dad, who you've always been like, oh, he'll be injured by this time. He's the second leading rusher right now, and he has 3 touchdowns as well. And what I like about Saquon, so far this year, it's still early. God forbid any injuries or like that as a fan of the league. But 18 receptions out the backfield, so for the Giants, let me just ask you this real quick, and we'll play some clips. But for the Giants, Dad, are you surprised at all with how well the Giants are doing this year? And how do you is there any fear with how close that last game was?
Fear? No, it ain't no fear. Listen, man, we're playing with our backup quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So if our backup quarterback stood in there toe-to-toe with the Giants, then there's no fear for me with the Giants, because when Dak come back, we'll be twice as explosive.
Okay.
Period. So I'm not worried about any other NFC East right now except the Eagles, because they next on the list. Now, we're going to go out there and play them, but I won't cut to the chase. But for right now, no. Am I worried about the Giants? No. Saquon Barkley, great talent. Never have been worried about him because he's always injured. I give Saquon, and I tell you this every year, I give him 2 to 3, 4 games a year, period. But not wishing any bad harm on the man. I don't love the Giants, and I don't care.
It's going off. It's just going off what most recently happened. I understand that. Saquon, he hasn't been healthy a lot, but hey, we see.
But he's good.
He's having a good year. So far. Second leader rusher. That's a lot.
Let me say this. But what else they got? So when you shut down the run, what else do you fear from the Giants?
Hey, their defense isn't looking too bad. They shut down Aaron Rodgers in the second half, really primarily in the fourth quarter. And hey, Saquon is the bulk of the team. Like I said, Daniel Jones only has 850 passing yards. Not that much. 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, not a lot. But hey, you got to give him this credit. And we were watching the game together that Monday night. You guys sacked him a lot, but you guys could have had 5 more sacks if he wasn't elusive. So at least with Daniel Jones, he moves the pocket as well. He has some rushing touchdowns this year. So it seems like he's not great, but at the same time, he's doing enough to get the job done. You talked about their head coach. Looks like he's a elementary school coach or a little league coach as well. But hey, he's 4-1. It's 4-1. You know what I mean? So I just want to, it's the same record as y'all. Y'all did put that one on, y'all did give them that L, the only L that they got. So, again, I have to say, as of right now, they're one of the beasts of the East. Are they the top beast? No, that's you and Philly right now. But let's go and transition into it, and let's go and talk about the Cowboys, because you guys are next up. The Eagles we're going to talk about them last, and this week's matchup. That's what it's all about. As you see, we got the Eagles gear behind me as well, the TO jersey, and probably peep back there the Michael Vick jersey as well back there. But let's go to transition to the Cowboys, Dad. And I know you had a lot of good points. So let me just ask you this, and this is just off the top. We didn't prepare for this necessarily, like as far as script to script. We talk Cowboy football every time, but I know you got some pointers. Let me ask you this, though. Are you surprised at all with after that Sunday night game was 13-3? Most of your games have been snoozers this year, to be honest. But after that loss that you had against the Bucs, and Dak's finger, he's twirling it around. It's like, oh, I seen it. I remember you said it like it was yesterday. You said if we can just be 2-2, if we can just win a couple games. Are you surprised he won 4 games in a row? How do you feel right now as a fan? And I'll let you get to your points afterwards.
No problem. 1, definitely surprised. 2, once you start learning about a player, hearing about him, how his work ethics are, things like that. The thing about Cooper Rush is he's a scholar athlete. He's a thinker. So he's that kind of guy that'll end up being a coach, kind of like a Jason Garrett, right? But with that kind of guy, I look at Cooper Rush out there just going through the fundamentals perfectly, just like if it was like on a 3D screen or something. I don't think he's pressured One, you have no pressure on you at all. You just won 4 games as a backup. You've never lost a game as a starter, and you're the backup of the Dallas Cowboys. So no matter what, everything good gonna come to you from this moment. He can lose, won't make a difference to his career. The thing about Cooper Rush, and I hate when they say he's limited, he's a backup quarterback. Cooper Rush has been there about 5 years studying under the same people that Dak Prescott has, play for play. He's been there as the backup quarterback. The guy's been in the game, won 4 more. So limited play, I don't think so. His passes are great. Actually, he leads the receivers with his passes better than Dak. If you look at the post patterns and across the middles, you'll see he leading the receiver. That's why these guys are getting more yards at the catch. With Dak, sometimes it goes a little bit behind. You know what I mean? Not saying anything about Dak. I love him because he brings a whole lot other intangibles and he's more athletic. But as far as what's going on with Cooper, now I'm not surprised at all because I think he can go in there and win every game because now the difference between the Dallas Cowboys back then and now is that we scheme for teams. We plan for teams. We plan against the defense. We plan against their offense. In the Jason Garrett era, it wasn't like that.
So in Rush, we trust, basically. That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying. Rush, we trust.
In Russ, we trust for now.
For now. So let me just go and read some stats real quick, Dad. You know, we got Sean Marcus. I'm gonna say for this
I'm Dad. Now. I'm always Dad.
You always Dad, but I'm gonna have to debate you on some of this stuff. So Cooper Rush, last game, 102 yards. You know, I don't think he threw any touchdowns. No interceptions or fumbles. The game before that, 223 yards, 215 yards, 235 yards. Total right now, he has 4 touchdowns and no interceptions this year. So let me just ask you this. And I know you say in Rush we trust and things like that. And I think he's playing well. I think he's doing exactly what he needs to do. He's being a game manager. It's not saying anything bad with him. He's just not – we're not throwing the ball 30, 35 times a game. The running game is looking pretty decent. Look, I'll go and show this clip real quick with Tony Pollard, you know, as well. This is huge in that game. This is huge in the game right here with Tony Pollard. Breaking the tackle, getting to the outside, and taking it to the house. That was huge because, you know, you guys are down 10-9, start the second quarter. Still a lot of time left in the game, but Cooper Rush didn't have to do much. You know, we'll see later as well. I feel like your defense is really the one carrying it. But, of course, Cooper Rush is also complimenting that. You know what I mean? But again, let's look at this play one more time before we cut it off. Brought by the NFL, and he just breaks the tackle, uses that speed, and goes in and scores exactly the Chris Berman whoop. So, you know, by seeing that as well, you know, I think that's definitely helped Cooper Rush a lot. But I'm saying, you know, with those stats, do you feel like eventually though, so you can win every game of Cooper Rush if he starts the rest of the season? I know he might be a little exaggerating, say every game, but you guys, your defense is that good. But do you feel like you guys can win at least 90% of the games if Cooper Rush were to be here for the rest of the season? Or would you go ahead and prefer Dak go ahead and get under the saddle again?
Yeah, Cooper Rush is doing what Cooper Rush needs to do for now. All the idiots out there saying that he should play instead of Dak, that's not going to happen. So don't even talk about it. All that is something for clickbait to happen. I understand he got that high hand. He's on a roll. But Dak Prescott brings another level. Okay. Cooper Rush brings, we can make it to the playoffs maybe. Dak brings, we can make it to the playoffs and win, period. Because his level of athleticism is much higher. His leadership is better. Okay. Just the whole vibe that he brings, I think, is going to be powerful for Dallas. Right. If he don't be in his head now. No.
Okay, no, I understand. So, you know, you say you had some points. What about Mike McCarthy so far this year? You know, a lot of people were saying last year you guys went 12-5, ended up making, you know, the playoffs. I think the second or third seed, ended up getting beat by the San Francisco 49ers 23-17. We saw in the wild card round. And it was like, hey, I mean, McCarthy, we give you a pass the first year. Dak was hurt. You stunk that year. It's okay. You get a pass. You come in, you go one and done. You know, now it's ramblings that it should Dan Quinn be the interim coach if something happens, if you guys aren't good this year. How do you feel about Mike McCarthy and the coaching so far this season?
Well, this season, actually, I'm very impressed, and I'm happy with the coaching staff completely, because to me, they're working as a unit finally together in sync. Special teams, all three phases, special teams, offense, defense, is all in sync. Everybody is vibing. Everybody's young. Everybody's hungry. And Mike McCarthy is the whole center of that. He controls that whole thing. So when people talk about Mike McCarthy, and I even have to, the first thing I had to look at is, okay, I was happy to get Mike McCarthy. Actually, I read the whole thing, saw the interview with Peter King about the whole in the farmhouse and the analytics and things like that. I was all over that. So I was like, Mike McCarthy should come before anybody was even saying it. He came. 1 second.
Okay.
And when he came, it was COVID season. He had never met the team. He brought his boy in, brought in the worst defense in history of football. We went 6-10. Everybody thought Mike McCarthy was a lunk. I even did, because you didn't know what he did or what he bring, right? You didn't know what Mike McCarthy bring. He won in Green Bay. He won a Super Bowl. Great. We ain't had that since Jimmy or Bill. We haven't had that. So to bring in a Super Bowl caliber winning coach is a great thing. But you got to give him a chance to get out of the Jason Garrett web of destruction, all of that mess, all of that sense of entitlement that the players had with that team. Get them out of here and bring in some fresh, new, young people that's hungry. That's what Mike McCarthy, I'm going to tell you just like this. Mike McCarthy brings team.
Okay.
And I say that like this. He brings depth. He brings a team that know how to be there. That way, if somebody fall, it's another man there right there. What Jason Garrett used to say, next man up. No, Mike McCarthy practiced it, because you got to think, we ain't never had no depth. Never. When Sean Lee, a decent linebacker, went out, our season went out the door. Am I lying?
Definitely on defense for sure.
When Tyron Smith in that year with your boy on the Falcons got in there 7 times.
Yeah.
Tyron Smith
Devontae Campbell,
hasn't been reliable since then.
Mm-hmm.
And he's always good for at least 2 penalties a game. But he a beast, but he hasn't been there.
Yeah.
So when you look at situations like that, and you go and you say, okay, how can we improve? And I'm gonna go here. I got 5 pieces real quick.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna go back real quick to the depth. Because of the line, because of those things, we didn't have any depth. Now what do you have? What do we need? O-line help at tackle to replace Tyler Smith. These are things that I said right after the playoffs.
Okay.
That horrific playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
5 things I said that this team, we need O-line help at tackle to replace Tyler Smith.
Got
too many injuries, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Enter great first-round pick, Tyler Williams. Great attitude, willing to learn, power, strength, toughness, eager, and got a bear hug on you, right? He ready, and he's still willing to learn, and he's getting better every week. Bingo. One thing Mike McCarthy did well. Next, help at linebacker. Too many runs last year. Only thing that was a weakening to this defense. Enter Barr.
Anthony Barr, yeah.
All right. Okay. Jabril Cox is coming up. We ready. All right. Safety has always been a place where we didn't focus on. Often lead gets listen, the safety, real quick. Never had any. Now we got 3 or 4 ready to roll.
Mm-hmm.
Zeke and Tony Pollard. Ain't no hate in that game. That's love. Zeke will punish you. Okay, Zeke gonna punish you. Tony gonna wire you. That's all it is to it. Zeke gonna punish you. and then Tony gonna come in and slice through you.
Explode the game up. Yeah. Okay.
The last thing but not least, all my Cowboy Nation. Last thing. The reason we lost to the Niners is because we were soft.
Okay.
We was a soft football team. It wasn't about that play at the end of the game. We had lost that game at the beginning. Really, penalties killed us in that game, but we were soft. The one thing I have to say right now, period, hands down, and I'll ask you this question, young man.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are the Dallas Cowboys soft?
Y'all don't look soft this year. I mean, you guys on defense wasn't bad last year, but this year it's a different feel. And I'm gonna give my take on the Cowboys too. But I'm gonna say this, and I don't know if you almost I don't know if you finished, but y'all definitely don't look soft so far this year. Y'all do look hungry.
I'm finished. The defense looks good. With the defense looking as well as they look, and I was gonna go a little deeper with you, but we're gonna do this another time.
Yeah.
Look at the schedule.
Yeah. Y'all hit us some.
Hey,
yeah.
Hey, man.
I got you from here. Tag me in.
Bingo. Hold on. Tag you in.
Let's do it. So yeah, the Cowboys. I'll say this. My take as a fan, a Falcons fan, but just looking at it from NFL perspective, the Cowboys. Hey, after that, I thought for sure you guys were gonna lose to the Rams. I just felt like with McVay and being in LA and the whose house and all that, I'm like, you know what? It's gonna be close. I could see Dallas having a close game, but I just don't see McVay losing 2 in a row. But y'all did, and y'all beat them kind of convincingly. It wasn't like it was like teetering. I mean, it wasn't a blowout, but y'all really beat them. And I'm gonna go ahead and just show this clip. Show this clip real quick too as well. It's like when it comes towards the Cowboys, defense again, defense. So here goes the clip right here. It's the start of the game. You see him getting the sack fumble. You were going crazy. Feel like you almost passed. You were so excited, and you got that touchdown. But that's huge. I mean, that's huge to start off the game, the first drive. I'm just gonna go into the block punt as well, real quick, and just show that. But that's huge as well. I mean, these are defensive plays that's happening. Cooper Rush didn't even get on the field yet, and he already has the ball right here to put it up, 2 scores. And you guys end up scoring right after this as well, at least a field goal. But the reason I show that is because, hey, I mean, it just goes towards what you were saying, Pop. Y'all don't look soft, and it starts with that defense. The offense, I mean, when you get Dak back, if the defense is going to continue to play like this, I don't see Dak coming in and just, I forgot how to play football. I'm gonna start throwing interceptions. No, you're gonna loosen up the playbook more, and that's probably why some people might say Cooper Rush is quote unquote limited, because you're not throwing the ball as much. It's almost like Dak come in, you almost go more towards passing than running. And with Cooper Rush in right now, it's more of a balanced attack. It's not saying Cooper Rush can't throw the ball. It's not saying he can't be accurate. And when you have to, Cooper Rush does make positive plays, throwing the football. So yeah, the limited can sound like it's a shot at him, but at the same time, when you got Dak and who's familiar with the whole offense and the starters, not saying Cooper Rush isn't familiar with the system. When you repetition on the field with the starters like that every week and playing with the ones, you should be in. You should throw for almost 5,000 yards last year, 37 like Dak did.
Let me ask you a question. See, a backup quarterback is not expected to win this many games, right?
Right.
There's starting quarterbacks in the league right now that's not winning this many games. So why even start thinking about Cooper Rush as a backup quarterback is not a poison. It's not a disease. Mm-mm. You just behind the number 1 quarterback. That don't mean you are no good.
No,
Cooper Rush is winning.
That's true. And
if he was on the Chicago Bears right now, they would probably be better. I don't know.
Yeah. And we'll see tonight. We'll see tonight. They face the Washington Commanders. We'll see tonight. But go ahead.
The guys winning football games. So
yes.
It's like, I mean, the Cooper look, everybody gonna lose. But the thing is Why talk about him as a backup? He's a quarterback. He's earned that.
Yeah.
He's earned it.
Yeah. No, definitely. And I mean, I think it goes towards I think it goes back towards what you said as well with the depth, and give Mike McCarthy credit, because let's not forget Cooper Rush was here when Jason Garrett was here, and Cooper Rush got cut from this Dallas team, I believe, earlier this season. So whatever it was, even if he didn't get the opportunity to play with the ones consistent like now, he wasn't on the team. Dallas said, you know what, whether it's for roster benefits or not, we got to get somebody else. And he was on the Giants with Jason Garrett last year. I think it was last year. And now he came back to the Dallas Cowboys. He's playing well. So we got to – it goes towards the point, you know, that you made as well. A good point is the depth, the next guy up, you know, because people were saying – I was saying get Cam, maybe Jimmy G or something. We already Xing out Cooper Rush. In the back of my head, every time, you know, I give Skip credit, he always pointing out the Minnesota game last year when Dak was having a great year so far up until that point, and he won on Sunday night. Cooper Rush had a really good game, a game-winning drive. It was a high-scoring game as well, you know. So the point, though, is that did happen last year. So there was a glimpse of, you know what, Cooper Rush had a good game last year, but Dak played 16 games last year. We didn't think about it because Dak kept playing. I think because Cooper Rush has the sample size is getting larger and larger, and although he might not necessarily be, we won this all because of Cooper Rush, he's still winning games, and he's not turning the ball over. And I think that's what makes people surprised, because usually with backup, even with starting quarterbacks, you're going to turn the ball over some point sometime. You could have 350 yards, 3 touchdowns, but you got to pick in there. It probably didn't mess up the game too much, but you're going to turn the ball over. Cooper Rush, 4 touchdowns, no picks. So I think that's the biggest thing with Cooper Rush. Yes, I'll say this and end with this on my Cowboy take, I guess for now. Dak has bigger strengths, you know, than Cooper Rush. But at the same time, Cooper Rush's strengths is he doesn't turn the ball over as well. And he's pretty accurate. It's like we don't really know what weaknesses that he really has. So with the Cowboys, I feel like, you know, going back towards showing, again, the defensive clips and all those things like that, I think the defense is definitely our strong suit. This is Madden. I'm giving y'all like a 96 overall rating on defense. Micah Parsons is coming. DeMarcus Lawrence looked like he resurrected his career. You know, at least his contract might be coming up again, so he's balling out. You know, the defense just looks really good. Trayvon Diggs starting to get interceptions again. You know, Donovan Wilson is knocking dudes' heads off. So your defense has a certain swagger where it's kind of like reminiscent of maybe the 49ers from last year. You know, we scores in the playoffs. We're taking out Dallas and Green Bay at their stadiums, and we're going to try to go to the Super Bowl. Y'all have that type of swagger right now. And y'all don't even have Dak back yet. Y'all don't even got Dak back yet.
And we winning.
And y'all winning. That's the biggest.
And the schedule actually going to get a little simpler.
Yeah, because y'all start off with the Super Bowl, both the Super Bowl teams, excuse me. So yeah, I mean, you beat the Rams, you beat the people were saying, oh, you're gonna lose against the Bengals. That's an L. No, we beat the Bengals. No, we beat the Rams. No, we beat the 4-1 Giants. They could be undefeated if y'all would have lost against them. You got to
exactly.
Count. So honestly, for me right now, I think it's the Eagles, Cowboys, and 49ers at the top of the NFC. You know, if you want to say anything else before we transition into the Eagles right there, then they have at it. They have at it. But you know, I'm done with talking about the Cowboys. Yeah, y'all look good. And I can't wait for the Sunday night's game. So I'm excited. Y'all look good.
All right. Just want to say what's up, Cowboy Nation. All love for y'all. Y'all know how it is. Don't be so spoiled, though. I know we looking for more than the playoffs and all those kind of things, but one game at a time.
Uh-oh.
One game at a time. I ain't going to get no loud speech, no rah-rah, no one for the giveaway.
I'm glad. That's what makes y'all annoying. But I give y'all credit. Though. But nah, so transition to the Eagles, Dad. You know, I feel like this Sunday night might be the first time you really pay attention to them. Obviously, you know what I mean. You might see, the Eagles won, or a game break come from Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts, another touchdown pass. You see 20 seconds of it. But hey, the Philadelphia Eagles, you know, Jalen Hurts, you know, he has over 4 or 5 rushing touchdowns already this season. I think it's 6 actually, 4 passing touchdowns. The stats don't look great, but he's putting the football down the field. You know, go ahead.
You know where that cool button is over to the right? This one? You know where the button is when I do this? Do you know where it is?
Okay.
under the banners over there. Do you know where that is, son? Because when you go off, you got to do it right. Now, you just tell me when you're ready, but keep on with your talking.
No problem. But yeah. So the Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, though, I just feel like this. The Eagles look really good. It's definitely gonna be a tough game when it comes towards the Cowboys and Eagles. But Jalen Hurts I think he's balling this year. You know, I've been a fan of his since he got benched in the Alabama game and in the championship game back in 2018. They put Tua Tagovailoa in, and that's kind of, you know, I understand how that can feel. You get benched, they win the championship because you were struggling. Coach Saban take you out, you win with a freshman quarterback in. Then you stay the next season, you're not playing because you're not starting. Then you end up but you play well in the game or whatever. You end up transferring, going to Oklahoma. You balled out in Oklahoma Heisman Finals. People saying you still running back playing quarterback. You make it to the NFL. You behind Carson Wentz. They saying, why did they draft you? Oh, it's just because Carson Wentz get injured. You're not no better than him. Carson Wentz thinks up the joint. He's on his third team in 3 years. Now you're in MVP conversation. So all that being said is that I'm a fan of Jalen Hurts. I'm a fan of Jalen Hurts. You know, I like his resilience. I like athletes, redemption stories. I love that. I love when you still have the talent. People don't give up on you and they balling out. And that's what he's doing right now. We got some clips real quick. You know, we got some clips from
always looked at Jalen Hurts like a young Dak, man.
Yeah.
He looked like a young protege Dak that runs more, you know?
Yeah, definitely a lot more.
A little shorter, but yeah.
Most definitely. So, you know, I'm just going to show just a couple clips, not too much. You know, this is NFL highlights.
I don't like running quarterbacks, man. I don't like that.
Yeah, he run a lot too, and he looked better than last year. So again, this is earlier in the season against the Eagles, and I'm gonna turn off after this. These are NFL highlights, but all I'm gonna say is that Jalen Hurts is more poised. You know, he looks more poised. He looks more confident. He's throwing the ball to AJ Brown. He's his best receiver so far this season. Somebody that they got in free agency, along with Devontae Smith, he's balling out. AJ Brown is a top 5 receiver in receiving yards this year. And again, that comes from Jalen Hurts, that the guy they said who you know, we don't know if he can pass the ball consistently down the field. You know, we're not really sure if he can do that, but he's doing it so far this year. They're winning games. They're 5-0. But I'm going to say this. And this is the last clip I'm going to show. But when it comes towards Jalen Hurts and this team, I feel like coming against the Cowboys, it's going to be the offensive matchup against the Cowboys defense, because Micah Parsons is coming. It's going to be Sunday night. It's going to be in Philadelphia. And I just want to see how he responds towards that, because he hasn't seen a defense like Dallas yet. They played against good teams. Hey, Minnesota's 4-1. People forgot about the Vikings as well. They blew them out on Monday night. The Detroit Lions fight every week. They beat them the first game. You know, it is what it is. But they've been having good wins. They beat against the Arizona Cardinals, a team that has Dallas' number, it seems like, the last couple of years. You know, they beat them by 3 points last week. The point, though, is that, hey, the Eagles are here. They got some weapons. I like to see where the other cornerback, Diggs, is going to be lined up on A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, maybe both. But, you know, hey, who's going to line up on one of the two? Because those two are arguably 2 number 1 receivers. You know, they got a good 1-2 punch. That's all I'm saying. So when it comes towards Jalen Hurts, I want to see how he responds towards Micah Parsons. He can scramble. It's not going to be Carson Wentz fumbling the ball all over the place and throwing picks like that. It's not Matthew Stafford, my elbow hurt, and I'm going to throw a pick. It's Jalen Hurts, and he got confidence. He got the swag and the leadership. Let's go. Y'all doubted me. Let's keep going.
Hey. Give me a solo. I got a prediction.
But go ahead. Go ahead, though.
Give me a solo.
I don't think I can give you a solo. It won't let me.
Keep doing it. One more.
It won't let me.
Really?
Yeah. I'm the solo.
Yeah.
Anyway,
my prediction.
What you feeling?
Pain.
Okay. On y'all or on the Eagles?
Pain we gonna inflict on your boy, the quarterback. Don't run that ball. Don't run the ball, son. Hey, I don't have nothing to say. Yeah. I'm a Cowboy fan. I'm looking. I'm glad where we are. I'm waiting on Dak to come back, and I like what we're doing.
Let me ask you this.
Cowboys. Oh, also, hey, YouTube and everyone else, Facebook, YouTube, subscribe. I'm new on the channel. It's my son, Sean. We handle the sports right here. I handle the love and relationships and community building. But check out Speak Up with Sean Marcus. I promise you, if you come in and take a look, you won't regret it. It's going to be something in there that you'll say, you know what, that was pretty good. I like that. Check us out. Help support the channel. Click the like, click the subscribe. And we need you. We appreciate you. And Sean, do your thing.
Let me just ask you, let me ask you this real quick. Cooper or Dak, who would you start? And I ended with that.
This week?
Cooper. Okay. I want to say Dak. I want to see Dak. Dak is back. That's all I'm gonna say. But hey,
we might pop up on Friday night and say Dak will be playing.
We never know. I
don't think so though. Give him one more week.
Week.
And if he come back on fire, Sean, I don't see us. I'll say 13-3.
13-4.
Yeah, that. At the work, for real. And that's just being nice because the old Cowboys used to fall apart on some lousy teams that we have no business losing to.
Right.
But go Cowboys. Cowboy Nation, what's up? Subscribe, like, Speak Up with Sean Marcus. Take us out, young man.
All right. Peace.
Hey, what's up, America? Thank you for checking out the show. If you like the content and the vibe, come join us. Click on the link